Hi, here I am coming with the new topic in JavaScript, and today we will discuss about the hosting. Basically, in JavaScript, hosting is the one of the most important concept, and basically, hosting is what? Hosting is the process of putting all the function and variable declaration in the memory during the compile phase. What do you mean by the term the compile phase? Mean to say that while JavaScript while the code inside the JavaScript is going to execute, then in that case, all the functions will be loaded inside the memory during the compile phase. And some of the most important facts about the hosting that in JavaScript, functions are fully hosted. So function can be accessed anywhere from inside the JavaScript code, where variables are hosted and initialized with undefined value. Late and const are fully hosted and not initialized with any value. If we are going to access a var variable before its declaration, it will it will be undefined. And if we are going to access a let and const variable before its declaration, then it will throw a reference here. Have you got it? No, no, I understand that you are not understanding what I mean to say, but no problem. We will discuss more detail during our example section. That we are going to explain these things using some examples. So now I am going to my Visual Studio and I am explaining the points one by one. So our first point is in JavaScript, functions are fully hosted. So function can be accessed anywhere. Mean to say that if I am declaring a function here, function A, and here I am writing something, function has been declared here, and if I'm returning also something just like one, and here I'm calling this function. So if I'm calling this function like this way, then it will be it will printing the output just we are expecting. Now what I'm doing right now, but the statement so that in JavaScript the functions are fully hosted, so functions can be accessed anywhere from anywhere. So it means to say that if I am calling this function after its declaration, then it will be fine, and if I am calling this function before its declaration, then that will be also fine. So here, this is the output for this is the output for the first time calling, and this output comes from after calling this function at the second time. So this is the concept about the hosting for the functions. Now we are going to apply. Now we are going to apply concept of hosting on variables, and inside the JavaScript we can be able to declare the variables three ways. That we can be able to use the var keyword for declaring the variables, and we can be also use lit and const for declaring the variables. So at first we are going to use var keyword for accessing the variables, so for declaring the variables, sorry. So sorry, it's my bad. Sorry. I am declaring variable x equal to 5, and I am going to print this value. Accept this variable. Oh, it is fine. Similarly, let and const are fully hosted. Where variables are hosted and initialized with undefined value. Mean to say that if we are going to access this variable before its a declaration, mean to say that while the variables are According to the definition we have discussed about, that is the hosting is the process of putting all the variables and functions into the memory during the compile phase. And when all the functions and variables are declared, it means to say that declare mean to say that while the code will be executing, the variable x will be already declared, and this has been declared with undefined before it's assigning a variable, before assigning a value to that variable. Means if we are accessing this variable before it's assigning the value, then we will giving the undefined. We will finding the undefined because while the code will be executed at first, all the functions and variables are declared inside the memory during the compile phase, and where variables are declared with undefined value. So we are getting here undefined because if we are going to access this variable before its execution, before its declaration, same this point will be also accessed by this point, that if we are going to access a var variable before its declaration, then it will be undefined. So this and this point will be explained the same thing. Now we are going to uh, discuss about the late and const keywords. So here now our target point is for the list and const keywords. So now we are going to discuss about these points. So if I'm going to if I am declaring a variable const const y equal to 6, and I am accessing this variable after its declaration, then what will be happen? Fine. Similarly, if I am declaring a variable z equal to 7 using the let keyword and going to access that variable z, will be fine that we can be able to access this variable also. But now what we are going to do, now we are going to access this variable before its declaration. Similarly, we are going to access z before its declaration. Then what will be happen? So if we are going to access this variable, then it will throw an reference error. So this is the concept, and our last point will be also explaining the same thing. If you are going to access late late and const variable before its a declaration, then it will throw a reference error that we are getting right now. So it is all about the hosting. Basically, hosting is the process of putting all the variable and functions. It is the process that has been explained by the JavaScript, that while we are going to execute a function, while we are going to execute our code, all the functions and variables are already has been declared inside the memory before it's before during the compile phase. That while the code will be go inside the compile phase, all the functions and variables will be declared inside the memory. So this is all about the hosting inside the JavaScript. Now, uh, now we will see you in the next video. Thank you.